This is We Are the Promised Land. I'm free for all. Welcome.
Okay. This is a show when I sing it to myself a lot of time when I'm going through something and I need some help. Father, I stretch my hand to thee. Lord, I know if you withdraw thyself from me, Lord, I go. Amen. That enough? That's enough. That's enough.
Am I a bad girl?
Okay. So one of the things that this talks about the path to heal the emotional self is going well. It's just that you're still probably experiencing those things that, how can I say? It's almost time to teach your hurts.
Yes.
It's time to like teach your hurts. There's still some cords that may need to be cut, and the best way to cut them now, because of being an elder as opposed to being someone 30, you got to teach it. Your best healing is to teach it. And there's a group waiting to hear it.
Yes.
So does that mean a book? Because there is a grandmother speaking, where's your book? Fulfilling that part of your life through teaching, counseling, healing. This goes all the way down to culinary.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what she does.
It's part of the healing and the teaching.
Yes.
It's almost like while she's showing people how to bake something, I'm also telling you the story of my life, how you let something go. It's just like the bread rises. You got to rise out of the ashes. However you're going to do it, it transcends that. That's part of your healing.
For the first year or so that I visited the Hollowells, Annie, Mrs. Hollowell, was a little gun-shy on tape. It was shocking, honestly, because she's such a firecracker most of the time. For a while, I thought that maybe she'd prefer if I just took my big nose and shoved it in somebody else's business. But over time, she found her voice again.
From them. And I'm a talker when I want to, okay? I would love to have conversation with females that I would love to have a little group to come out here and just a round table, voice your opinion. What's going on with your life? Mm-hmm. How can we fix it? That type of thing, and have some kind of relationship with these people that will encourage them to do more, say more, act more, be more of a woman, be strong, that type of thing, okay? You don't have to sit wondering what the hell is going on. Make it happen, Yeah. Move in a shaker, You don't have to put up with bullshit.
What's holding you back from doing that?
Well, I've been too damn busy.
Yeah.
I need to write a book, too.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I keep saying that, okay?
I think you've been saying that for a few years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What would the title of your book be?
Mm-hmm. This is my shit. Now tell me about your shit. That's the first one, then the second one, okay?
Yeah.
255. I should. Always tell the story.
In the wake of the Civil War, Southern cities and economies were in ruin. The planter class, whose land assets were taken away and then quickly restored, found themselves in a pickle. The land could only make them money if there were people to work it, to grow and harvest crops like cotton to sell. But paying for labor had never been part of the business plan, and they were not prepared to incorporate it now. Meanwhile, white Southerners on the whole were reckoning with the new reality of living among free-roaming Black people. To prevent the newly freed Black populace from getting too comfortable, Mississippi became the first state to pass Black codes in 1865, which were subsequently used as a model for laws in many Southern and Western states. These laws, which laid the foundation for what we now know as Jim Crow laws, restricted Black folks' physical and social mobility. Negroes had to provide written proof of employment on demand or risk arrest for vagrancy. As workers, Black folks were required to obtain written authorization to move off the land they worked. To do so without permission could also result in arrest. Sharecropping became popular in this period as well. Sharecroppers lease farmland from a landlord and pay their expenses to that landlord as a share of their crops. Some farmers preferred this arrangement because many freedmen had little or no money to invest in a farm, and as sharecroppers, they didn't need to put any money down. The landlords would pay the year's expenses up front and settle up at the end of the year. Some landlords even ran stores for their tenants, which operated on credit. By 1900, 85% of Black farmers in Mississippi worked as tenants for a landlord. As the system stretched on into the 50s and 60s, it became clear to many that the plantation had not been abolished, but reconfigured to fit the aesthetics of the postbellum world. When Annie was a kid, her family sharecropped just outside Holly Springs. This is Annie's eldest sister, Bessie.
The time you were farming for the white man back in them days, you're going to come out in a hole. Because he coming there. Go over there, Mom, get what you want. You know how everything is. But ain't nobody have no pencil but him. Stuck behind his ear. He was putting down everything. Might have been a $2 or $3 piece of meat. He's going to charge 15 or 20. So you never know. Because nobody got a pencil but Uncle John.
Annie's cousin, Autreniece Folsom, also grew up sharecropping.
But most farms, they would tell you, you almost made it.
See,
they were
yeah,
lying.
yeah.
They were lying to you how much cotton you pick. Yeah, you almost made it. You still owe a little bit. And see, they didn't know how to keep record of what they took up during that year, so they could tell them anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's one reason why my mother left my father. Okay.
That's Annie, of course.
Bessie, this is a story Bessie tells, okay? And so every year he would say, well, Mark, you almost made it, okay? But you're still in debt, you know? And so the last time he came and told my dad that, my mama told my dad, this is the last. If he wants it next year, he's going to have to find another food. We're going. We're leaving. And she said, Bessie said she packed up and left Dad and came to, I guess, McClatchy, yeah. Yeah, McClatchy Farm.
Annie's family moved several times when she was growing up. And everywhere they went was pretty much the same deal. The Nunleys are a very big family. There are 14 kids, and each child had to pull their weight and then some. Annie and Autreniece seem to see their survival of this period as nothing short of a miracle.
Because it's, you know, you have a girl at 16 years old picking 460 pounds of cotton meat a day. That was hard work.
Yeah, that's
And then
really
you
hard
chop
work.
from 7 From 6 o'clock until noon. You get 1 hour break. You go home, eat, and you sleep for 30 minutes.
God had to be with us.
You bet.
I don't know how they would send somebody to the house about 10:30 to cook the meal.
Cook the meal.
And when you get there at 12 o'clock, the meal is done. Because they had to make the pie and go through all of that to cook the meal.
Or when you cook breakfast in the morning, my mother would just cook breakfast in the morning. She would cook extra biscuits and then potatoes, and she would make a little sandwich so we wouldn't have to come back to the house, okay? So what you do is you take it to the field with you in a basket. At 12 o'clock, you eat, you drink water, you lay down for 30 minutes, and then you get up and go back out in that hot-ass sun. It was so hot, you can see little monkeys just dancing in the sky. Not lying. And you just praying, good Lord, bring on the rain, bring on the rain, okay?
I get it. You know, I think when I'm sitting on the porch and I see a cloud coming, it brings back my remember how we used to be so glad to see a dark cloud.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know you're going to get to go home.
Exactly.
And sometimes it would fool you. It wouldn't rain enough.
Just enough to sell the dust. Just enough to sell the damn
dust. You had to go back to the field.
And start all over again. See, that's hard living.
But
that's hard living.
We didn't know it was hard living.
We didn't know.
We didn't.
Okay.
Usually, when I talk to Annie or any of her people about what it was like growing up in rural Mississippi back in the 50s and 60s or earlier, they wind up drifting down this particular rabbit hole on memory lane, which contains a museum of daily labors and survival skills.
You learn how to can your food, process your food. Yeah, you do all that. You learn how to marinate your meat for the whole winter. Okay, your hogs, you salt them all down. You know, your coons and things. You salt them all down so you have stuff to live off of for the winter. And then you have your sweet potatoes and your white potatoes. Okay, and all that good stuff. You put that in a place where you know it's going to be warm, and during the winter you can eat it until spring. But when spring comes, you take those potatoes and you plant the portion of it, and so it can create more plants. And then you go back out there and start planting for the next.
And you save your seeds from everything.
Exactly,
so
your watermelon, your cantaloupe, your black-eyed peas, and all of that stuff. So you didn't have to come to town to buy it from the co-op. You already got it there, okay? And so it's a lot of things.
Just think about the sausage.
Oh.
When they kill a hog, they make that sausage.
Yes.
And they make a little sack and put it in the sack. Hanging up.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was good.
And I tell you, when you have those ham, you just cure them, okay? And then you stay there for 2 years.
Yeah.
You go out there and just pull your piece off because already it's dried out and it's already ready. You just pull your little piece and put it in your mouth, keep on going, okay? Raymond Jones was an expert with this.
Yeah. And in the summer, we would have to go way over across the hill to get water because the system be done dried out when it don't rain. Because the system got that water when it rained in the top of the house. And they had gutters that would run down and put this water in the system. So when the water ran out, we had to walk with them big old
or you have barrels where the water runs off.
Oh, yeah.
You catch your water and you put it in those big...
You'll be glad to see a good rain. Fill them barrels up where you don't have to carry
You have to wash out of those barrels. You have to drink water out of those barrels. Or if you're lucky enough, your father's going to town to take the cotton, he just filled the barrels up and bring it back with fresh water, that type of thing, okay? So it was hard living, but damn it,
but
we
we
made it.
understand about it, you didn't know it was hard. You can look back now and think it was hard.
It was a routine. It was a routine.
You know. And everybody was doing the same thing, so nobody was bigger or better than nobody else.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ubuntu is a word found in several Bantu languages, which is sometimes translated simply as humanity, and other times as I am because we are. Ubuntu acknowledges that survival has never been a Darwinian competition, but rather a collaboration in which every individual is but a cell of a greater being. Over and over again, as I was recording these interviews, transcribing them, and sifting through for pieces of this quilt, echoes of Ubuntu colored every patch.
So my mother and I and all the rest of the people in my family, we go out and pick cotton, chop cotton, get all our stuff squared away, and then we go help our neighbor do these things, okay, to catch up before Christmas get here, before the cold weather hit, okay. It was a community of nothing but family, actually, to be honest with you, because we all live in the same general area. Okay?
Yeah.
You didn't have to go to the white man to get this stuff. You had it right there, and somebody in that family is going to do it. It's going to make this stuff. Okay. Yeah, we didn't have much, but we made it.
We made it. That's it.
We made it. Okay.
I don't ever remember a day we went to bed hungry. There was always something there to eat.
Exactly. Oh, at somebody's house.
Yeah, somebody's house.
At somebody's house.
And
Okay.
girl, like you said, hog killing time, the neighbor would come over to help kill the hog, and everybody got a piece.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Got a piece.
Yeah.
They shared. Shared, that's what it was. That's the word. The neighbor
Yeah.
would share with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Black communities throughout the South have always survived with the skills on hand and the people within their reach. Healers and midwives were extremely common, simply because they had to be. Annie's aunt, Corine, was 96 when Annette and I talked with her.
Yeah, it was always somebody in the neighborhood that knew how to help people. And that's what people did back then. They know you sick. Tell somebody, so-and-so is sick over there. And she's not doing good. It was always a lady would come with her tea and her big sass and her flannel cloth. She would heat that tea. She would oil you down with big sass and put that flannel cloth on your body. The next morning you wake up, you're a different person.
The Southern Black shaman of post-slavery times worked with a broad apothecary, which included native plants. Some of this knowledge likely came through relationships with the Choctaw and the Chickasaw, who are indigenous to Mississippi, and through experimentation. Other practices were based on careful observation of the natural world. This is Corine's daughter, Gert.
I remember that someone got cut real bad or something, and then they took those maggots, tied them on the leg. The maggots only eat the rotten meat, and then only the fresh meat showed up.
The Southern landscape, permanently altered through plantations and industry, coughed up unexpected remedies in the form of petroleum products. Vaseline, Vicks VapoRub. Gert remembered that coal oil, or kerosene, was used to disinfect cuts. The day before this interview, at the family reunion, Annette's cousin Pig had told us about another application, which Gert wasn't familiar with, but Bessie and Corine were.
Did y'all eat coal oil candy?
That's what he said. He was saying.
I remember my mama making something like that, but give it one. Right. I don't know what all she did there.
Sugar.
I remember.
Put some sugar in there, put the cold oil in there, and kind of boil it a little bit. And let it sit, and you can cut blocks. And give it to us. We sucked on it.
And the kerosene would like kill whatever was in your throat or
But not the child.
yeah.
No, not the cow.
Not the child.
Right.
Why you put, we can't buy it anymore, but turpentine, and then they would put a teaspoon of sugar and a drop or two of turpentine on the sugar. What was that for?
Orange.
Worms.
Orange.
I just remember it was really bitter.
Also among these memories and remedies are wellness regimens, most of which were practiced seasonally. Here's Annie and Autreniece again.
I tell you.
That was
and then the poke salad.
There you go.
Poke
Okay.
salad. They,
Oh,
I've had three. I have had 3 meals of poke salad already. Get you some poke salad. It cleans you out, and it'll make you feel better too. If you can get 3 meals of poke salad in the spring, it will make you feel better. cleans you out, and then in the spring they would make us take them castor oil.
Yeah.
Everybody had to take castor oil, and they said that's cleaning the winter stuff out of you. We all had to take some.
That's some of the
castor
nasty mess you ever
oil.
want to take, okay?
Yeah.
But it works.
It works.
Okay?
It
If
still
you're
works.
constipated,
It
it
still
works.
works.
It works, okay?
Still working.
Yeah.
Still working. And I never went to a doctor until I was 13 years old. And because you got sick, they knew I had to go out there, what route to go out there and get.
Root doctors and midwives were called on in extreme cases, but most of the time you relied on the knowledge of the people closest to you, your family. Many families had their own medicine person, with the knowledge of plants they could forage and remedies they could source easily from the home. Annie's mother, Connie May, was her family's medicine woman.
She has a lot of ways of curing and healing, okay? She had that. Go out there and get me that branch off the tree, okay? Wash it, chew on it, okay? You'll be better tomorrow. We didn't have but one doctor in Holly Springs, maybe two. And Dr. McClatchy, he would say, and my mom did all labor at home. She had babies at home, all 14 at home. And he was saying, why did you call for me? You already know how to do this, okay? They should call you doctor, okay? Yeah, because somebody's sick, that's what she did. You need to sweat, okay? And she made you sweat, okay? The next morning you get them, took your ass to school. So my grandmother was the same way. She could fix you up too. You didn't have too many sick kids in the house.
Annie's grandmother, Gertrude Sanderson, is a legend in the family for her singing voice and her healing skills. Corine's daughter, Gert, is her namesake.
And she gathered herbs. I don't know what was in that stuff. It was really nasty. Yeah, but they made us drink it with spring, fall, winter, summer in that mason jar. She mixed some kind of something. And winter, fall, spring, what was it, Mom? What was in that jar?
I don't know that. I can't remember.
But you know what I'm talking about. You had to drink it, clean your system. You can't get it.
I can't get it together. I know. They drink it every spring and every fall.
Summer, fall, and winter. And the best is cow patty tea.
That's what Tommy was telling us
Mama
about.
called it something else.
Cow make eggs.
Say it again.
Cow make eggs.
Mecca's.
Yeah.
Annie's sister, Bessie, again.
So there's three things in there. Then it's cow manure, mullein, and hollyhock. Put it all in this bag, like you said. Mama cut a sack halfway, flour sack halfway, and put it in there and put the one in that pot and boil it. Put all that in there together, and then it had some of Morgan, another special around there, which is corn whiskey, and then take that hot chip tea, you give it to you, and put you in that bed. And if you got a cold, can't get it up, you got a fever, can't get it out, that hot tea gonna help get that regular loose.
And then I remember drinking it for pneumonia or for a real bad cold, and for chicken pox, measles. You didn't go through being sick, it just dried up.
It truly is a privilege to listen to these women marvel over the magic of their mothers, grandmothers, and even themselves. They appear almost supernatural in these stories, wielding the power of the earth itself to conjure a cure from thin air. Of course, the reality is they took great care to develop these skills, to hone them to a science, and to pass them down through generations of loving hands, all while enduring violence and exploitation. I know it's nothing too profound, but it is nonetheless miraculous that the earth's most beautiful flowers, that her most nutritious herbs are best fertilized by manure. I mean, that is some shit, right?
Yeah. Amazing. So that's country living.
Yeah.
Country living at its best, okay? Some cow shit. Shit. Health is a damn horse, okay?
Yeah.
High cotton. Next question. Get off that soap opera.
Do you guys want to sing something?
No. No.
Okay.
Let's see. What song? I don't know. We're just going to sing one verse, okay? Okay. If it wasn't for the Lord, tell me what would I do? If it wasn't for the Lord, Lord, tell me what would I do? Yeah.
In the beginning was the deed, and the deed was done, is done, been done did. Dig? Adolphus Chapel, CME Church and Cemetery occupies a couple of green acres in Holly Springs, Mississippi. It is a small, squat building with a few big oaks, a gravel parking lot, a wide lawn, and a cemetery. This site is Adolphus Chapel's second home. The whole operation moved here decades ago. This plot of land was donated by a man named Mr. Fant, who worked for the bank. The original Adolphus Chapel, the one Annie, Bessie, and Autreniece grew up in, was on a different piece of land, which once belonged to their ancestor, Amma Mae Burton. Adolphus has a small congregation, about 30 people, I'd say, and all of them are descendants of Amma Mae.
Yeah, when we were at church, she was saying, you pointed to like pretty much everybody in the room, and you said, that's a cousin, that's a cousin.
Everybody's cousin.
Everybody
Everybody in that church is connected, connected, whether we want to be or not. But
this is a list of our family reunion that we've been had down through the years. Places where we had them at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll never be alone because our family is so large.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was Annie and Autreniece. Amma Mae Burton was their great-grandmother, though in her day, everybody knew her as Duck.
This is the deed where my grandma Duck, the lady over here on the
One
right,
with the hat.
at the top.
Okay.
She, when you read it, you'll see where she sold the land, everything except an acre, to Taylor Nunley.
Okay.
And the acre was for the church and the cemetery.
Wow, $900 for how much? I'm looking for how much land
70
it is.
acres of land.
Wow.
So we've been trying to figure out where a black woman get that much land. And his name, her husband's name wasn't on the deed. On her name.
That's probably why she got it. Because his name. Okay.
As far as ancestors go, Duck has reached legendary status. She occupies a sort of saintly space in the church's lore, having her name associated with the congregation's right to the property. Even though the church has moved, family members are still buried at the old site, and as such, the land continues to hold meaning for many people. In my mind, this document also signifies the community's sovereignty under Jim Crow, which is a miracle unto itself. Annie and Autreniece never knew Grandma Duck. They know her as their grandmother Gertrude's mother, as the woman whose name is on this document, as the lady in the photograph. Aunt Corine is the only person I've met who remembers Duck and her husband Charles.
All I can remember her as being my grandmother. And she was a nice lady. And she was a heavyset lady. And my grandfather he was a white man. Her husband was a white man. But she was real dark. The only thing I remember about them having a log house up where the old cemetery used to be. That they had quite a few kids themselves. And they farmed, they had their own farm. I can remember that.
The rest of what we know about Duck is confined to the very limited paper trail she left behind. She married Charles Burton in 1891. They had 12 children. And then there's this deed, or rather, the series of deeds related to this piece of land. The deed that Autreniece is referring to is dated 1945. Grandma Duck specified on this deed that 1 acre was to be reserved for Adolphus Chapel Church and Cemetery. There's another deed, dated 1930, which states that Duck, here addressed as Anna, paid her husband, Charles Burton, $130 cash in hand for the property. Now, I've seen a lot of deeds for the region and the time, and $130 for 79 acres is ridiculously cheap. It's also notable that Charles left 1 acre off the property conveyed to Duck. And in 1914, Charles purchased the same 79-acre parcel from a Mr. F.H. Williams for a whopping $875 cash in hand. But in 1921, there's a correction to that deed, on which the land is priced at only $1, and which also separates 1 acre from the lot. Without living witnesses or documentation, the exact details of this particular story may have recessed into the realm of dark matter. That said, we know enough about the time and the circumstances to make some reasonable speculations. We know, for example, that after emancipation, Black folks were a majority in Mississippi until about 1940. We know that Black folks' political rights and autonomy were constantly under threat by white supremacist violence during Reconstruction and long after. We know that many Black folks in this period adopted the notion of Christian citizenship, a sort of old-school respectability politic through which Black folks proved they deserved their rights as American citizens through the performance of Christian values. I say performance here, not to suggest that their behavior was ingenuine, only that one's beliefs were not in question. We know that as the Reconstruction period blazed to an end, Black churches became vital centers of community service and political education, and that Black churches throughout the South played a fundamental role in the civil rights movement and beyond that as well. We also know that though Black churches sprung up like toadstools during the Reconstruction era, the CME Church was the only Black denomination with a formal charter in this period. Established in 1870, the Colored Methodist Episcopal Church, as it was called back then, was the only Black church of the time to be founded under white patronage. Representatives of the Southern Methodists were present for the entire founding convention. As a result, the CME Church was founded on a compromise. The CME's Book of Discipline forbade using church buildings for political events. But those Southern Methodists with church buildings on their property, previously used by enslaved congregations, agreed to deed those buildings to the CME Church. When I read this about church property and the foundation of the CME, a picture came into focus and then quickly blurred. CME as a whole was founded in 1870, the same year as Adolphus, when Grandma Duck was about 2 years old. Perhaps Duck's mother, Julia Hearn, was a member of Adolphus. Perhaps, for some reason, the deed never changed hands, and thus the church building remained on a white man's property for the rest of the 19th century. Perhaps, years later, in an effort to secure the property for the church, Alma May and Charles decided to buy the land. Perhaps they already lived on the adjacent property. Perhaps Charles's whiteness was an advantage here. What is striking is that in all the transactions, that 1 acre is separated out. To me, it strongly suggests that the church and cemetery were already on the property before Charles bought the land in 1914.
Oh, sorry, you want to...
Oh, no, I was just saying, I think your speculations around that 1 acre makes sense.
This, of course, is Annette Hollowell.
And even like that they were holding it down, that the church was already there and it was these women holding it down. And that when it was time to start doing land transactions, that's where we start to see a formalized kind of arrangement that has the church in mind. That resonates. Again, it's speculative, don't know what happened for sure. But yeah, it's interesting. And yeah, I don't know why the 70 plus acres would go for $800 and some, and then a few years later it's $1, unless it's like some kind of reparations or something, or some kind of negotiation that resulted in this land basically being given.
We will likely never know Mr. Williams' motives, but Grandma Duck's are within reach. This is me and Annette talking to Annie and her sister Bessie before we knew anything about the relationship between the Southern Methodists and the CME Church.
But then she did some land over to the church too, though.
I think she did.
That's what Autreniece was saying.
So I'm not quite sure about that, okay?
Yeah, no, but I was wondering too, like, she had children, right? So I was curious, like, why she would have decided to, put that land into the church rather than, like, giving it to her children.
To the kids.
But I mean, it was effective. Like, it's kept the people together, And I'm wondering if you thought she had that in mind, or if there was another reason that she might have done that,
Well, I really don't know. Can't go back that far.
Okay.
But I know I know the cemetery was back then. And it's still back there, but we're not using no more. But Grandmama Duck, all them all back there.
Like, I think about the land that we're on now at Foxfire, and my dad's father bought that. And it's like, somehow I think he must have known that this was going to be something that we'd be able to hold on to for the family and have as a place for community.
See,
And maybe
God is a good God. God got things planned out.
right.
And He's going to pick out the one He think is going to be able to handle it and keep it going.
Yeah.
And so, that's what God would be.
Yeah. So that was, you think that's the case with Grandma Duck and that little piece of land too?
Yeah.
She must have been moved to do that.
Yeah.
What we can say definitively is that this is the land where the old Adolphus stood and where the old cemetery still is. This is the land where Autreniece, Annie, Bessie, and all their siblings went to church as children. There were dozens of cousins being raised there together in those days. Between Adolphus Chapel and Adolphus School, all the children in the family had a place to be every day of the week when they weren't needed on the farm. It sounds like a fun place to be a kid.
And on Friday night, they bring their dinner. Everybody eat at church after service, end of the service. And during that week, that preacher would go home. We had daytime service too. And after daytime, so he would go home with one of the families. They would take it home and feed the
And
preacher.
feed the pastor,
And feed
okay?
the-
Or every Sunday somebody
Yeah,
would feed the
feed the
pastor,
pastor.
okay? Yeah, and on Children's Day and Easter's, okay? We had other people that would bring basket to church, and this man, Mr. T. Cochran, T. Cochran, okay? He was one of the best cooks in the best cook in the community, okay? And the Folsom, the Burton would have a big box. My mother would have a big box. They have dressing, they have cake, they have spaghetti.
Real stuff. Real stuff.
Okay,
All
so
it was made from real stuff.
it's
Real
like
cow
10
milk and real butter.
Yeah, exactly, like 10 or 12 people bringing
Chicken
boxes
off the yard.
and feeding everybody in the
Yeah,
church, okay?
yeah.
Those were the good old days, okay? You get your best outfit on, you get a new dress for Children's Day,
Sure
you get a
did.
new dress for Easter, and you get them, you say your Easter speech. Sunday school, you had to walk to church on Sunday for Sunday school, and then you stay there for the service. You get there at 8, you don't leave until 12. Well, maybe 2 o'clock, right, Niece? You're there all day, basically speaking.
But you know,
okay?
the good thing about it, they cooked dinner on Saturday at home.
Yeah.
And when you got home, the food was already ready.
there.
And how did that food kept without it refrigerated?
Refrigerated, okay?
It didn't spoil because they had the real stuff made out of the real stuff.
I was getting ready to say,
I just want to point out the sense of awe you hear from Annie and Autreniece here. The magical nature of communal abundance. The wonder of food kept fresh without refrigeration. I guess it shows how faith can make a miracle of everything.
but anyway.
What else do y'all remember from being in church when you were kids?
Walking to church every Sunday in the rain. You take your shoes off and you walk barefooted until you get to the church. You clean yourself off and clean yourself off. Going to revival, okay? And singing your way to church and singing your way back home. Going to the Mona's bench. So confess your... Go ahead, niece, you know.
You got it.
Confess your sin.
The first bench was called the Mona's bench.
The Mona's bench.
And if you was sick in the Lord, you go sit on that bench. And everybody would know to pray for you.
And sing.
And they would tell you, say, Lord, have mercy. Yeah, Lord, have mercy. And you sit there. And I think a lot of people, they'll tell you now, when they came out, they didn't get nothing. A lot of them came out because they've been forced. To do it, by parents. Because especially if you stay on that almost the end of the week and you still sitting there.
You know something's wrong.
Their parents would tell you better come on off there tonight. You better come on. Yeah. So they would fake a shout and come on off.
Come on off. Okay.
Yeah. But they didn't, they didn't get nothing. Yeah.
See, I guess I was one of those people, not forced off, okay? But I was kind of looking for Jesus. I was waiting for Jesus.
They really didn't explain to you. They didn't know how to
explain that, okay?
Yeah, because it didn't take all that.
See, now I feel it. I feel it in church. You know what I'm saying? And do I believe that I got religion? Yes, okay? Because it's here. It's the faith that you believe something, okay? Yeah. But I'm sitting there waiting on Jesus. Somebody pat me in the back. Somebody
beat you in your back.
Yeah, beat the hell out of me. But anyway, and so tears start running down my eyes too because of hurting. Yeah. But I'm just saying. But I got it or not, I got it now. So that's the main thing. I got it now. Okay.
But like they did things best they knew how.
Yeah. Traditions. Yeah.
I think my relationship to Christianity, there's the pressure that they named of like this kind of performative aspect of faith. That's something that I could definitely recognize and relate to. And I've also had experiences in church where I feel like the Spirit, I can feel the Spirit moving. I can feel the energy in the space. I've, wanted to be baptized. I've, gone to the front of the church when the doors of the church are open. A lot of that is like about seeking something, wanting some connection to Spirit that fills intimate, that feels like my own, that feels like something I can really surrender into and lean into. But for me, it hasn't been the church that's like been a place that sustains that for me necessarily. And, you know, there are so many aspects of like the doctrine of religious doctrine that just don't resonate with how I view the world or the people I'm in relationship with. You know, so some of the politics of the church is just shit I can't rock with. Some of the things that are overlooked or not spoken about or, you know, kind of excused is shit I can't rock with. And so I appreciate spaces that provide folks with some spiritual grounding, that help orient their moral compass, that help them find a sense of belonging and connection to spirit and to the Most High. And I think that's special. And I'm glad that people can find that where they can. I think for me, I wasn't raised going to church consistently or regularly. I didn't go to Bible study and vacation Bible school. I kind of like I was like in and out of it. So as much as we moved, we weren't like regularly going to church or joining churches and that kind of thing. So it's like I understand the currency of it. I understand the historical significance of it. I understand the cultural context of church in ways that my children don't, because I haven't raised them in church. But I understand it and I can like navigate it just fine, and find some enjoyment in it when I do participate or go. I definitely am someone who thrives off of collectivity and community, especially spiritual community and shared community, and so I desire that. I feel like my personal ritual thrives when I'm in collective ritual. And I love singing with other people, and I love learning and listening as folks are teaching. And I love being able to share my own kind of stories and experiences and testimonies too. And for me, that's just been in spaces that are more rooted in indigenous kind of technologies and practices, more communities that lean more towards shamanism and nature and magic versus religious doctrine. And also in practices that are just as old as Christianity, if not older. And so I think the ways that my family's grounding in church has influenced me is that like I'm definitely someone who's a spiritual person, but I think that I also am someone who goes in and out of like my engagement with those spiritual practices and tools. And that's been something that I'm so grateful when I have found a groove and I'm in my groove and I'm doing those rituals and I'm sitting with my altar and I'm feeding my altar and I'm doing the work of connecting with my ancestors and slowing down and, you know, seeking answers and listening and meditating and all of those things. And I appreciate that church provides a structure for people to stay on track, to have some accountability, to have some community. And that's something that I desire, but not necessarily like in a church space or in a religious space. So.
What is the experience of going to Adolphus like for you?
It's like a little family reunion, you know? It feels old and familiar. And it's a way of engaging with church for me that feels comfortable. And that also feels like an obligation that I'm willing to receive, as far as like, okay, my family has been involved and engaged in this particular institution, these walls, these pews for a long time. And that's not dogma, that's ritual, that's, you know, a vehicle for family cohesiveness. And so when I go because it's family, not so much because it's like, oh, you know, praise Jesus. And I also go because I enjoy the singing. I always enjoy music ministry. Any church or spiritual place I go to, I always really appreciate and enjoy that.
These days, Adolphus mostly has adults in the pews, though there are some children as well. Autreniece and Bessie are the church elders. The pastor is spread thin sometimes, often preaching somewhere else before he comes to Adolphus. While they wait, They handle housekeeping and prayer lists. Autreniece usually leads a few of the old songs. Here, Annie is singing along.
Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me. Walk with me, Lord. Walk with me. While I'm on this teacher's journey, I want Jesus to walk with me. Amen.
Be my
Your
friend.
friend, Lord.
Yes.
Be my friend. Be my
I love the old songs. I love to hear my family sing. I love to hear the way they moan. I feel like it's a history lesson in those songs too. So I love to hear him. I love to hear him. I love to sing along, and I love to, that makes me feel something a lot times more than a sermon might. It's something that like gets into my cells, and that is already in my cells. And so I'm grateful for that, because if these are songs that don't get sung as much, these are songs that were sung for certain rites of passage and things like that people don't necessarily know. These are songs that Autreniece feels compelled to catalog and to write into a book and to teach and to share with people. That feels special. That feels old. That feels like one of those things that's carried over.
All right. Let Jesus lead. Let Jesus lead me. All right, another minute. Let Jesus lead you. Let Jesus lead you. Oh yeah. Let Jesus lead you. All the way. All the way from earth to glory. Oh my Lord. Let Jesus lead you. Yeah. All the way. He'll lead you if you let him.
These old songs, sometimes called spirituals, were one mode our ancestors used to document their experience. Some say the Christian imagery is code, a way to talk about liberation without causing alarm for the enslavers. In any case, these songs were a way for our ancestors to maintain a connection to their ancestors, to the families they were separated from, to the villages drowned in the Middle Passage. These songs helped our ancestors to survive dark times, to build solidarity among them, and to keep a sense of possibility in the face of dire circumstances.
He's a mighty good leader. All the way. All the way from earth up to glory. Yeah, Lord, let Jesus lead my Lord all the way. Is that enough? Is that enough? Yeah. When they would sing no song like that, they didn't have no music.
They didn't have no music, they just sung.
Yeah.
They sung from the heart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What they were going through.
Yeah. See, it's kind of like the blues.
Yeah.
It's a story they're telling. Okay.
Yeah.
They're asking for certain things.
That's
okay.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because when food and stuff got low, you could hear mom and them in their kitchen moaning.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time they get through, everybody got something to eat.
Exactly.
Yeah, it made the food multiply or whatever.
Exactly. Okay.
Yes. Oh.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Annie started inviting me to Adolphus very early in our relationship. I was not raised in the church, which I have honestly always considered a blessing. As a gay, radical heathen who speaks with a lisp and is bow-legged to boot, I've gotten used to acquaintances and strangers warmly assuring me that I will be added to their prayers. I am squeamish in the face of proselytizing, skeptical of quoted scripture. The cumulative weight of Christian hate held me back from visiting Adolphus for years. When I finally got myself together to drive to the country and walk into the building, I felt held by the congregation of cousins, huddled together in the pews, singing and inviting me to sing along. No one really uses hymnals. It's an oral tradition. It's a practice in solidarity with the living and the dead. We sing the old songs, and in so doing, we are strengthened as a collective. We sing the old songs to stir the ghosts within. It is a way to give thanks to the ancestors, like Grandma Duck, who recognized the church as a stable place to keep their families together.
I think it's important to tell the story of these kind of rural family founded and family kind of fueled churches. I think that's a story that's common in a lot of Black community, and something that it's important to document. I think it's something that is key and critical to how we've been able to take care of ourselves, how we've been able to build ecosystems of support and connection and resource, and also places to address, like, grief, to send people home, to honor ancestors. Like, there's so much that's present and available in the church. Like, I get why my mom fucks with it. I get why she was happy to come back to Mississippi and to come back to her home church and, likes to be there and enjoys it. I get all of that, and I'm glad that that's there. When I do move back to Mississippi, when I am living on the land, I could see going to church there. I could see spending time there. I don't know if it would be like as consistently as some folks, but I think it would be something that would matter and that would feel good, to put on something cute and spend a couple hours around my people, drive to the country. So yeah, go, and it makes my mother very happy. I'm always really aware of the cemetery and how many of my ancestors are there, and I usually try and, pass through there or say hi or just, notice. That's right. These are your ancestors.
I can't remember what relation, who Connie Mae is. Like, is she our grandmother?
Who's your grandmother?
Mm-hmm. Big Mama.
So who
Here we are in the cemetery. Annette with Selah and Ruthie, still a baby, and me gawking around with a recording device.
These are your great-grandparents. Yeah.
Great-grandparents? Mm-hmm. And then I was like, maybe they're like uncles. Maybe they're siblings.
Well, looking back, I'm in awe.
Great aunts.
I honestly can't imagine what it would have been like to be in the same place with so many of my dead, and so frequently.
So Ruthie put in.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is Margaret Nunley. I think she was Mark's sister?
I think this is what Duck must have had in mind. Having a place for countless generations to go home to.
This is a handmade one. He was born in 1903. Wow.
That one's nice.
I want to say he's a brother. Because Mark was 1914.
70-something down there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
This is an Annie. That's 1900. Born in 1900, born at the turn of the century. 322. 322 in 1900. Number. Who wants to do that? This has a flag. This is
what they were saying once you got saved. I'm so glad you done got over. You won't have to get in that fire, girl. At the end of time.
Today you heard from Baba Femi, Annie Hollowell, Bessie, Autreniece Folsom, Corine, Gertrude, Annette Hollowell, Ruthie, Selah, and me, Free for All. I reported and produced today's show in collaboration with Annette Hollowell. Sound designed by Cedric Wilson, who also mixed the episode, with music performed by Autreniece Folsom and her daughter Teena, and myself. Special thanks to the congregation at Adolphus Chapel, CME Church. Our virtual altar was brought to life by Aaliyah Danette of Ancient Future Forest, with photography by Jay Williams and Jasmine B. Johnson. Our house historian is Rondalyn Pierce. We Are the Promised Land is produced by me, Free for All, in collaboration with Annette Hollowell. Special thanks to the Center for the Study of Southern Culture at the University of Mississippi, the Yoknapatawpha Arts Council, and the Mississippi Presenters Network, and to the Association for Cultural Equity. We Are the Promised Land is made possible by generous support from the National Performance Network, the Mississippi Center for Cultural Production, Carpetbag Theater, the National Black Food and Justice Alliance, the Center for the Gulf South at Tulane, the Pantaria Foundation, the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation, Alternate Roots, the Big We Foundation, the Mississippi Humanities Council, and with financial assistance from the National Park Service and the Mississippi Hills Heritage Area Alliance. Thanks so much for tuning in today. If you didn't already know, this audio altar is but one portion of our homage to the Hill Country's Blackland legacies. For photographs, visual art, poetry, and more, please visit our altar online. You can find the link in our show notes.
From my sister would say, from the cotton field. How would Bessie phrase that? From the cotton field to the automobile. It's something. It's some little saying that she has. Okay.
From somewhere to somewhere. It come from nowhere to somewhere. You get why we could buy a pair of slack pants, slack, and then I got that wrong. And no, we start off coming from a cotton sack to cotton slacks.
There you go. That's cute.
Yeah, it come from a cotton sack to cotton slack to slacks.
Yeah. And she said, "Can you believe it? Can you believe we made it through all of this?"
Yeah,
we made it. It was tough. It was tough, but you know what? Once again, all that won't kill you will make you stronger. And I must tell this story too. Bessie was living over from the cafe in a little one room, and a lot of change just lying around on the table, you know. So you go in there, you get your $1.50. You go down to the store right beside them, get you some bologna, some crackers, a moon pie, and a Coke.
Wow.
I was in hog heaven, I swear.
Do you know about that? You know she was taking your chain?
No.
No.
I got ripped off.